That went well.
Oh,
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness. It didn't crash today.
Like half crash though.
Half crash
It
a
like
little
started as like about to reconnect. We out here.
bit. Hello.
I guess I should turn off this music.
Yeah, if you want to. Okay, so first of all, let me share this out.
True.
I'm gonna bring everything else. Hello, everybody who's tuning in
Yes.
and
Hello.
watching with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know where I'm gonna share this to? I'm gonna share this to oh shoot. I'm gonna share it to a couple of pages here. I think that'll be cool. Share it to a page. These people are gonna get sick of me. Share in a group. Alright. Let's go. Cool. Alright, let's get started. So, today, hi, I am Paul, one of the co-founders of thetemboway, where we take you from being a regular human being to a superstar and a legend and beyond. And this is
Cody Wales.
Cody Wales,
I'm just gonna call myself Hustler, and that's it.
hustler of all things, invested
Creative.
in creative-like things and healthcare and just being a boss. Do you want to promote any of your stuff while you're at it? I mean, while we're here?
I'm good.
No? He does a lot of things.
If-
Comment if you want to find out. Anyway, so today, let me just double check. Today we are talking about shooting your shot, making the first move. So what does this mean? Cody Wales is watching. So what does this mean? Shooting your shot, I think, has been pretty much a very open concept recently, right? I say it in passing conversation, just when talking to other people, when asking them, encouraging them to go try something out, just shoot your shot. And the reason, we were told to shoot your shot is just because it's simple. Just like when you shoot your shot, or just like when you're going on a date, right? You make the first move. That's all it's about. So what we're talking about today is being a giver. Jared, what's up, man? Being a giver and just learning how to give, and how giving is the ultimate road to even more success.
And I think there's kind of two concepts within this concept of shoot your shot. There's the seizing of opportunities or creating of opportunities, and then there's the giving value first before expecting anything out of the other person. So it's not only creating and seizing the opportunities that are put in front of you, but it's also like when those opportunities are there, you don't exploit them right away.
Yeah.
You give before you take anything.
You give and you give and you give and you give. Just like Tembo, I think, or just like any company, really. When they first start anything, we just give, right? Kyle, text me back, bro. No, seriously, text me back. Answer my question. But so with giving, I think it's so important because, like Cody says, you don't have to seize everything from the start, right?
Pizza's ready.
You want to go check your pizza. So you don't have to seize everything from the start. You kind of just go and give and give and give. So that for us comes in the form of doing live videos, comes in the form of, putting out like little cheat sheets, comes in the form of, a multitude of different things. And then once we've given, right? Much like when you shoot your shot, you know what? Let me make it simple enough. Imagine, you see a nice thing, a young lady or a young man, equal opportunity. And you think to yourself, I'd like to invest some time in them. Obviously, you'd go and, Danielle was good. You'd go and you'd essentially give things. So, let me say hello. Let me put on my best foot forward. Let me do this. Let me do that. And buy you a meal, go on a date, buy you a coffee, all this, all that. Isabel, hey, Isabel, I have not seen her in a long time. Oh my goodness, how have you been? But let me not distract myself. So you give and you give and you give, and then one day you're like, hey, let me get your number. or I'd really like to see you again next time, right? Same thing with this concept of shooting your shot or being a giver. By Temba, we put out videos a lot. I think especially in May, we try to put one every single day. And the point of that is just to be able to give out all the information we have for y'all. Simple as that, right? And asking absolutely nothing in return. I think this is part of, I'll say, servant leadership. If you disagree with me. But don't. But
I'm thinking.
But I think this could be part at least of service and serving, right? It's part of who we become. I think another part that we'd have to take into account, or you'd have to take into account as a giver, sometimes just because you give doesn't mean you'll get anything.
Yeah, you have to give without expectation.
With expectation, right? Your ROI may not be as high as you think it will be. So part of being a giver, part of being in servant leadership is just knowing that not everybody you serve is going to invest back in you. Simple as that. And that's not a bad thing. It's just maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're not as invested in you. So what do you do to get somebody else invested in you? You just continue giving. So in that, I'm just going to keep coming back to the shooting your shot concept because that's where I am today. So, it'd be like, you've seen a young lady or a young man and...
You really need this dating example.
Do you have another example I can use?
No, I just want you to keep going.
You just want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. So, things are not working as well. You didn't get that number. You didn't get that email, for those of y'all who still communicate like that romantically. Or you didn't send the raven and it didn't, it wasn't received. What do? You continue giving. I mean, within reason, obviously. If somebody says no means stop. But I think it's important to just be able to almost start to function, I know for me at least, start to function in the mindset that no matter how much I give, who comes back to me is who comes back to me. Another example of that, even with like people that are tuning into the live videos we do, we get on live not expecting one person, not expecting 100 people, not expecting 1,000 people, right? Who gets on is who gets on, and who gets on is who we serve. And the reasoning for that, one, is not to get caught up in the numbers game, but two, and more importantly, is just that if you're able to pour into every individual you serve as if they're the only person you're servicing, I think, one, your service gain is going to be much higher, right? Your worth, or how other people refer you, because now if Cody is serving his clients, if Cody is serving his people, and whether or not it's 1 or 10 or 100, each and every person is given the experience and has a relationship with him as if it's a one-on-one thing, right?
And I think that's where a lot of people they lose track because they're like, cool, I want to be scalable, and then they take the personality out of it, and then they lose sight of the fact that it's that one-on-one, those relationships, that adding value to the individual that's most important. It's not giving 50% to 1,000 people. It's giving 100% to 100 people, or something like that, whatever the number might be.
Every single person you interact with has to be your most important customer. Every single person you interact with has to be your most important student, friend, in whatever relationship capacity you're in.
Probably really distracted by names right now.
I don't know who that is, but hi.
Shared in the groups. So
I did share it in the group, yeah. Hi, I think we might have met at SSPT. Well, hi, how you doing? I just told you, this is about imperfect action. So I'll stop freaking out about whether or not I stare at names. I do think another portion of this. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So let's kind of talk about this a little bit, all right? Because we're going to turn this into an interview. I've decided.
Casey.
Casey's here. Casey, what's good, man? What a winner. Actually, Casey, you'd be the perfect example of this, right? So comment here really quickly. So with your students, Casey, are you gonna go check on your pizza? Yeah. Casey, with your students, is every single student as important as the next one? Do you serve each one as if that's gonna be your only student for the day? Wow, Kyle, you're the winner, man. Comment below, Casey. But I don't know how else to. I am a little distracted. I apologize. Cody's over here making an entire pizza.
He's gonna share.
And he's gonna share. If anybody's got any comments, really all important. There we go. So let's talk about that a little bit. just like how all of Casey's students in pre-PT grind, hashtag ad, are important. Every single person, and this could go from just the people you interact with on a daily basis. I think it's so important to make sure every interaction you have with somebody, as much as you can, leaves them feeling like they're the most important person in the world. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Why is that? I did it with Kyle, actually. What day was that? Monday. So I was asking Kyle a bunch of questions about his life, and I really wanted to understand how he became the genius that he is. And so for 2.5, 3 hours, I don't know, just asked him 10,000 questions, and he dealt with me, and he answered each one. But the takeaway from that is, if you're able to give somebody that relationship, if you're able to give somebody that experience of, DJ was good, if you're able to give somebody that experience of, yo, you've poured completely into me, you become that much better at your service.
And then again, just to reiterate, it's like you give 100%, but then whatever comes out of it from the other person's perspective, there's no expectation. Like, I'm going to give.
Yeah.
Like, Paul's staying at my apartment for I don't even know how long he's going to be here. I really haven't asked. I don't really care. But it's like, there's no I'm not keeping score. Like, all right, bet Paul stayed here for a week, so in a month I'm going to be like, hey, Paul,
stay at my place for.
Yeah. I mean, it's like this. Like, you just give without the expectations, because I know Paul is a good friend of mine, and that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to give, and he eats my food. I don't really it doesn't matter to me, and I just know there's no expectation. And then ultimately in the future it's going to be he then respects me because I'm giving.
Absolutely.
And so ultimately, even though there is no expectation on my part, the likelihood of me asking him something in the future, like a favor, is there. It's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And so because I've given without any expectation of him doing anything, he's going to come back and be like, cool, no problem.
Absolutely.
Happy to help.
Oh, yeah. Jared, you hit it right on the nail there. When you give without expectations, anything received is just a bonus. And I love that. I love that statement, just because that kind of reflects on the fact that, not just being a good person, but isn't he? Not just being a good person, but it definitely reflects on just the kind of mindset one has as a giver, the kind of mindset one has in service. What are you doing? The kind of mindset one has to have when you're serving others. Be it if you're opening your own clinic.
I got a book recommendation, so keep going.
Okay, cool. So we're recommending books now. Whether or not you're opening your own clinic, or whether or not you're starting a studio for your students, Isabel, or whether or not, Jared, you're serving each and every person in your field, or DJ, whether or not every person that hits you up in the DMs is like, yo, I need help with this, and that, right? Or Kyle, whether or not each student you have is like, look, I need to pass my board certification exam. You treat each one as if they're the only person you're going to have the opportunity to treat, right? And on top of that, they might compensate you back. They might hit you, the money's a little bit, but you serve them as if you're not even waiting for that. You serve them as if, look, I'm going to do this regardless. Like Cody was saying, Cody's just been, hitting me with food with no expectation in return.
And this guy doesn't even I offered him barbecue, and he was like, nah, I'm just going to have french fries. Who's this guy? But it's cool.
Anyway.
Throw it under the bus. Real quick.
I don't know. If y'all really want to talk about why I didn't say yes to the barbecues, because I ate already. But I didn't want to be rude, so I accepted fries. But that's besides the point. But just serving with the mindset of just being the best service provider you can be. That's all I got to say about that.
Yep. Book recommendation, Give and Take by Adam Grant. About to link it in the comments right now.
There you go.
Highly recommended. Talks about personality types and how giving is ultimately the currency that will provide you more success, even though it's kind of counterintuitive, because everyone wants to be like, yo, let me just try and look out for myself, and ultimately that's going to help me be more successful because I'm focused on my own success. That actually becomes counterintuitive in the long run, or counterproductive, I should say, in the long run towards your success. It's more about giving towards others without expectation, and then that way everyone is willing to you just win and you level each other up and you win together. Kind of like just exactly what SSPT was all about.
Just exactly what SSPT was about. To kind of tag on what he just said, I want to add this. So you notice that the more you start giving, the more people are willing to invest back in you. I think that's pretty fair to say, right? I'll just use SSPT as a perfect example. So GT creates this event, right? This event where so many people come together, and I watched this magic happen. If you needed help in your field, right? Be it if you're doing K9 or if you were doing cash-based stuff, or if you're doing this and that. Is my phone dying? I don't know. What would happen is, just because we're there, you could just literally walk up to someone and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I need help in this area. And someone's just like, yo, I know you got me, so I'm going to get you. Or they'd be like, whether or not you got me, I'm going to get you. A perfect example would be Alex Engar. I don't know if he is in here, if he saw this. But Alex was one of those people where I needed help with like Facebook ads and stuff. Mind you, he owns an entire empire of Facebook ad empiring things, right? He could have just been like, yo, sign up for my course, pay my fees, and I'll do it for you, right? But instead, because he's one of the greatest service providers I know, he was like, he took time out of his day, sat me down at the dinner table, and was like, yo, let's run through this, right? So what other people pay for, with no expectation that I was gonna like come back and be like, all right, let me buy this. He was just like, yo, let me teach you how to run the proper ad, or let me teach you how to look at your insights and figure out what kind of like reach you're having. So many different things. And all just because he was like, yo, he just wants to see me level up out of the kindness of his heart. So that's just one example of, obviously there's so many people I met there that could exemplify that. But
I think that applies like from a business perspective as well.
Okay.
With the work that I'm doing with Joshua Martin at Joshua Martin Studios, like we're more focused on giving back than we are trying to sell things. Obviously, we have to sell some to some people so we can make money and keep our doors open, digital doors.
Yeah.
But it's more about how can we help others do better, and we're like, we don't make anything from the podcast. Like we don't, like all the things that we're doing, the majority of the things we're doing, we're not actually getting anything other than like self-gratification out of it by helping people. But that is our mindset on how we're approaching everything, because we know that that's going to create a community around us where everyone else is more successful, and they're going to engage, and we can refer them work and they can refer us work. And so everyone wins in that scenario, like this abundance mindset. And we've seen the opportunities emerge like much higher than before. And so it's just about like, and that, like, getting back to the whole theme of it's like shoot your shot, like if you're giving, it actually is like providing more opportunities to take those shots than you would have had otherwise. So it's like it's just a continuous cycle of building, essentially.
You know what? I'm going to do this, and it's probably going to cost me, but I don't care. So, for everybody who's watching right now, right, the store's being built out. But we have a couple variations, don't mind my hair, of this hat. So, this is what I'm going to do. If any of y'all want some of the Tembo gear for free, free of charge, comment below. Just like put like 5 flame emojis, right? So if you want a Tembo hat for free, and obviously hit me up, and then I'll give you the different colors. Jeremy Sutton, hello. That is the man right there. Just put like 5 flame emojis and DM me, and I will make sure you get one. Just because I feel like it's important. One, I mean, I'm going to use it as a marketing tool. But at the same time, That's 5 emojis by Cody, who's sitting right next to me. But making just as a tool. So whoever wants it, comment it. I got you down below. I don't know if we have anything else to add to this. This is a very impromptu.
He didn't bring me any tempo gear.
I brought him 0 tempo gear because he put 0. All right, DM me. In addition to that, I don't know if there's much else to add other than just keep being y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep being you.
Go out there, give.
Seriously.
Take the opportunities, create your opportunities, but like have no expectations about what you're going to get in return when you're taking advantage of those opportunities. Just focus on others, and then ultimately will lead to greater success for you and for those around you. So it's a win-win scenario. It's hard to do. Like, it sounds nice in concept. It's harder to implement because it seems a little counterintuitive because you want to focus on yourself. But ultimately, that's what the greatest leaders in the world, regardless of what discipline they're in, that's how they achieve the greatest success.
You know, I think since we're still going at it, GT is one of those, by the way. I think another fantastic example of a great leader who gives would be Ray Dalio. And if I could, do you mind looking up Principles real quick? Just put that in there. So I started reading this book, Principles by Ray Dalio, and he's the guy who created Bridgewater, the company, not just a bridge over water. But in the book, he talks about one of the biggest keys. Alex, there he is.
Hey,
I was just talking about you, bro. So crazy. So in the book, he's talking about how as he was building Bridgewater, one of the things he had to learn was how to serve others. Just because, Alex, you know what? I want you to comment on this really quickly. Tell if I'm crazy. Then I'll come back to Ray Dalio. But Alex, 1, do you not own a ad empire? 2, did you not sit me down and just be like, yo, I got you whether or not I pay you? Didn't you just sit me down and help me in my confusion? The ultimate giver right there. Just say it, yes or no. But Ray Dalio, in the book, he talks about, exactly, man, this is why I love you, bro. So in the book, I keep getting distracted. In the book, he's talking about how servant leadership, or learning how to serve his employees, learning how to serve not just his customers, but the people that are working for him that collect a check when he signs them at the end of the pay period, right? Those people are so important. So now we're going to transition just not to serving the people you serve, but making sure you're serving those around you who are serving along with you.
Well, I think it's the principles between leadership and management.
Absolutely.
And that's, like, so many people think that, like, once they have people working for them or with them, it's like then they have to be this manager and, like, maximize productivity, blah, 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 blah. But really, like, it's more about leadership. Like, leadership is more important because that inspires the people that are around you. It empowers them and gives them the tools and information that they need to be better. And that, in turn, creates greater success for everyone that's involved rather than just you. And then, like, the management thing, that just burns people out real quick.
I just want y'all to see this really quickly. So on it, because I think it might be backwards, it says managers can't be great coaches by themselves. This is his magazine that I was reading last night. But it literally hits that very point. How once you start serving others, you need a superstar team around you.
Yeah, you need people who are smarter than you.
You need people who are smarter than you. Alex, you need people. You're already a genius. But one day you're going to need people who are smarter than you. I definitely have people that are smarter than me around me. All right? I don't know about him. He's smarter than me. So that's why he's around me, right? So I can learn from him. DJ is one of those people who really put me on this book that he and DJ are reading. The One Thing, blah, 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 whatever it's called. But they put me on this book and this podcast that, all right, so The One Thing, it's basically, most of y'all are winners, so you probably know about this, right? The one thing that you need to do to basically advance whatever it is you're working on. I never really made it past the whole book. I'm on chapter 4.
And it's sitting here right now.
And it's sitting there right now. I mean, can I read it later?
True.
Cool.
Yeah.
But just understanding that you cannot do it all on your own. So again, all the people you serve are important, but also remember the people serving with you matter just as much. So you need to be able to give to them, give, and they'll give back. Head coach. If a head coach pours into his players and serves them to the best of his ability, what do the players do in return?
Crush it.
They crush it. They
Unless
crush
you're
it.
J.R. Smith.
Unless you're J.R. Smith. If your students...
You just put it out there ahead of time.
I mean, if your students are crushing it, but then the people working with you... Alex, just because you're here... Alex, if you are crushing it with your students, but you're not crushing it with Will, what's going to happen? Danielle, look, you're going to open your clinic one day, right? What do you think is going to happen if you don't serve your staff around you just as much as you serve your patients? What do you think is going to happen? It's all about the giving factor. If you learn to give and you learn to understand that you cannot do it on your own and you need the people around you, you'll be going next level. You learn how to just freaking go beyond what it is.
And it gets more opportunity
and
again.
More opportunity.
Like it allows you to take advantage of those opportunities and shoot your shot that you need to, that you're looking to do and take advantage of. By giving, you get more opportunities to give and give. It just escalates. It's like the snowball effect.
Alex, do you want Tembo gear, bro? Just put 5 emojis if that's a yes. Relax. So basically, just shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Just serve others. Serve those around you. Serve your family. Serve your siblings, your cousins, your friends, your boss, your co-workers, your pastor, everybody. Just give, and they'll give back. That's all. You got anything to add? This man and this pizza, y'all. This man and this pizza.
I'll give you this pizza.
You know, cheese makes my stomach, but that's not important. All right, y'all. Have a good night.